Welcome everyone to another Dragonus Podcastus story session. My name is Dead Ponic. With me is my lovely assistant, Lady Maeve, and I have a special announcement. Uh, if you guys recall, Queen Byron has actually given me permission to basically advertise her Roll for Gravity page. If you are looking for the expert on Strahd and want to play through the Strahd campaign, you can join up with her campaign on her page, and this is only for a limited time. So starting next week, she will be running Strahd games, and seats are limited. So get it while you can and check out the page. And if you want to support our podcast, you can do so through the Fiverr page, the Patreon, and Lady Maeve's School for Exploding Kittens. Lady Maeve, tell them about the School for Exploding Kittens.
Hello, adventurers! Do you want to learn how to play Dungeons & Dragons or find a fun party to adventure with? I run games for ages 16 and adult on the platform Start Play. We currently have 2 adventures looking for players. Star Tide is on Sundays and Waterdeep on Mondays. Both games are open for adventurers. Do you have kids between the ages of 7 and 16 that want to play with other kids their age? Click on the Outschool link to sign them up for online D&D games. I have several games each day for kids at times that are convenient for after-school hours, Eastern Standard Time to the Australian time zone. You can also check out Fire Bunny Adventures on Etsy, where we carry handmade creatures and creations. Dice Goblins love our mystery dice scoops. If you have any questions about D&D or games that you'd like to play, please click on the Start Play link. All right, what do we have today?
So, if you guys recall from our last video, we did a bit of a lore video, but now we're going to be doing our story session. We're going to be continuing that. I am actually currently working on a campaign of my own, and we've officially passed 50 videos, so we're about halfway there to 100 videos. Hopefully we'll get more subscribers, doesn't really matter. But, Lady Maeve, would you mind giving us a small recap of the last episode of Dragon Ball? Oops, sorry, wrong show. Would you mind telling us what happened in the last story session?
Well, in the last episode of Dragon Ball, Goku went Super Saiyan. But the last time in our story session, Lieutenant Seaspray was reporting to duty in the capital for her new assignment, to be the head of Princess Lucy's new protective detail. In order to give her the authority to command a squad of knights, she was promoted to full bird colonel. She got a shiny new set of armor, a shiny new sword from the local blacksmith George. She also met her protectee in person, as well as her new walking buddy Boris.
So in this chapter, we will kind of explain what's going on here. So Colonel Seaspray will be conducting a briefing surrounding the protective measures being taken for Princess Lucy's birthday gala on Friday. The stage is set, the director has called quiet, the cameras are rolling, and now we've called action. Let us commence. As the morning begins, you crawl out of bed, throw on your armor, and as you hear a knock at your door, you open it and see Boris. He greets you and you both head to headquarters. You enter a medium-sized room with Viking and Boris. The company commander calls the room to attention. Attention on deck! You stand off to the side as Viking steps up to the podium. Be seated. Everyone sits down. Good morning. You have all been assigned to this detail because you represent the best from your respective divisions. Knights, Sisters, MCIS, and City Guard. This assignment is a culmination of all 4 divisions' resources pooled together. As you know, Princess Lucy's birthday gala is tomorrow, and to start the day, she will be doing a meet and greet of the civilian population. And we have reason to believe that an assassination attempt will be made against her. The head of her detail will brief you further. I will let Colonel Victoria take it from here. Colonel, you take the podium and address the room.
Well, there are 2 prevailing wisdoms regarding the details of the assassination attempt that is likely to take place tomorrow. The one you're most likely familiar with is related to the palace attack that occurred 8 weeks ago, in which we lost a lot of good people. This attempt is in likely retaliation for the capturing of one of Char's main suppliers of slave labor from Tor itself, Sonny Malone, aka Sonny the Slaver.
Some of the personnel mutter among themselves.
The belief is that a marksman will try to assassinate Princess Lucy, and the panic will cause mass chaos. Not to mention it would cause massive despair for the royal family and the civilian population. The Charians are likely the ones who have hired this assassin. The other wisdom is that this is a political maneuver by one of the members of the king's court who is in league with Char. We have reason to believe that the most likely suspect is Cardinal Rast, as well as the captain and his personal guard. But the evidence is inconclusive, and we can't move on the cardinal without causing massive issues with His Holiness. Not to mention he has his own personal guard we'd have to deal with if we were to arrest him.
The crowd continues to remain quiet.
The hope is that we can stop this attempt and maybe arrest the cardinal for being involved in the conspiracy at the same time if he is indeed involved.
You pull up a map of the courtyard and everyone gathers around.
The platoon of city guards requested for this assignment will man the main gate to the courtyard, checking civilian IDs and doing coat checks. The knights will cover all major entrances and exits to and from the courtyard from the palace itself. Nobody gets in or out of the palace without explicit approval from myself or the commander. 2 squads of sisters will walk the crowd. Another squad of sisters and Agent Gibbs, David, and Denzio will walk with the boundary lines. Commander Viken, myself, and 1 sister will escort Lucy to the dais and provide 306 degrees of coverage.
Alright, communication will be on channel 3. We will also set up a rope line. Knights and sisters will man the line and make sure no one crosses it. If anyone sees anything out of the ordinary, you are to radio in before you engage.
If the attempt goes off, the city guards and the knights will make sure the civilians are escorted safely from the courtyard. I've been told that a platoon of the Cardinal's guards will also be present as well. If our intelligence is correct, and the Cardinal is to make a move, it will be tomorrow. Unless they draw their weapons on you or move against Lucy, we are not to engage them. Any questions?
Forgive me, Colonel, but I couldn't help but notice your lack of an accent. You see Gibbs smack him over the head. Sorry. One of the knights raises their hand. Forgive me for being skeptical, ma'am, but how do we know that the attempt is genuine and will take place tomorrow?
Thanks to detainee reports and the intel provided by Agent Gibbs and his team, we have confirmed that the attempt will most likely take place tomorrow. Where the marksman will be perched, we have no idea. And additional security will be more than likely to alert the Cardinal to our suspicions and put Lucy's life in more danger, and that's a risk I'm not willing to take.
Any other questions? No one pipes up. Alright, kickoff will be at 1300 tomorrow afternoon. Everyone is to be at their assigned post by 1100. Dismissed. Everyone starts leaving the room, and Viken approaches you. Well handled, Colonel.
Why, thank you, sir.
There's someone I want you to be coordinating with. I hear he's quite the personality. You'll be joined by the Queen as well. He hands you a piece of parchment containing an address.
And what about the gala tomorrow? Is the party still on, or are we delaying it?
Actually, instead of a ball, the king has arranged a grand dinner and later to have a special guest come to the celebration. My knights and I will provide the exterior security, and you and your sisters will provide interior.
Understood. I'd feel better if I had at least a couple of knights working interior.
I'll see what I can do about that. You better get going.
Yes, sir.
You salute him and leave the office. You enter the central section of the city. You see the Queen and 3 knights. They spot you immediately. One whispers to the Queen, and the other approaches you and salutes. You salute back. Ma'am, Sergeant Tiffany, Eagle Company, 1st Night Division. Her Majesty would like to speak with you. You follow the sergeant and bow your head in respect. Thank you for coming, Colonel Victoria. I assume the Commander Viken has not told you who we are meeting with?
Unfortunately, no, Your Majesty. All he gave me was an address.
We will be meeting with Chef Ramsay. I was told that you would be briefing him on the security measures inside the restaurant. And afterwards you were to brief me on the security details for Lucy tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. This is my first birthday detail. I've informed Commander Viken will handle your security and His Majesty's. My lay son can send the full details if you wish.
That would be grand. You follow the Queen and the knights to a 2-story house. You see an older gentleman cooking something on a grill. He notices you all and bows his head in deep respect. Hi, Future Dead Ponic in editing here. I just wanted to quickly say that I absolutely butchered the Gordon Ramsay impression, and I wanted to apologize in advance. I am not very good at impressions. Some of them I can do really well. Unfortunately, Gordon Ramsay is one of the few that I'm very bad at. So, disclaimer about that. Also, I was going to have him do a thing where he says, "Who the fuck chokes on a Loganberry?" But I decided to edit that out and actually cut that out of the script because it didn't feel right. And especially since he's talking to royalty, I didn't want to, oversaturate it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest. Your Majesty, this is an unexpected surprise. I was told to be briefed by a sister. I apologize if we were pulling you away from cooking your meal, Chef. Not at all, Your Majesty. This meat cooks very slow anyway. Right, shall we get down to business? He offers you and the Queen a seat at a large table. He pulls out a blueprint and places it on the table. You both sit down and you address Chef Ramsay directly.
Hello, Chef. There'll be 2 teams of sisters and knights guarding the restaurant during the event. I'll need you in the back hallway clear in the event of an emergency. In the event of emergency, knights and I will escort you and your staff to a safe location. I'll stand just inside the service door and let you run the kitchen as you normally do.
I will need time for my chefs to prepare the food and fire up the stoves. We won't be arriving at the restaurant until at least 7, so you should have plenty of time to get ready.
I will need the names of all your staff, both chefs and waitstaff, and a full menu breakdown. I'm assuring your chefs bring their own knives?
Of course, and I always double check any equipment they bring into the restaurant. Are there any dietary restrictions I should know about? Well, Lucy can't eat anything based on egg or that has egg as part of the dish. Cooking with egg is fine, so for her cake. Colonel, I may ask you to help run the pass and run dishes if the waitstaff gets swamped. You'll have full access to the kitchen and the pantry. I always brief the staff before service. The only thing I ask is that you let my staff take care of any stove fires, and that I'm not to be manhandled when I am escorted to safety.
Oh, that reminds me, Chef.
You reach into your bag of holding and pull out a mithril shirt and place it on the table. Ah, George being overprotective again, I see. Is that everything then?
I believe so, Chef. Both teams will arrive at 18:45, and we'll do a quick sweep while your staff preps. Fair warning, though, I might question your staff while they're working.
Feel free to. If you do catch an assassin by chance, can I do the idiot sandwich routine when you interrogate them?
That's if we can take them alive.
Fair enough. I apologize, Your Majesty, but I need to tend to tonight's dinner for my family. That's perfectly fine. I should be returning to the palace anyway. Thank you for your time, Chef. You all get up. Ramsay bows his head, then extends his hand to you. You promptly shake it, then turn to leave. You follow the Queen and the knights back to the junction. Lucy has been worked up about tomorrow. Hopefully today's conversation with Chef will calm her down. I must get back to the palace.
Of course, Your Majesty. I must prepare for tomorrow.
You bow your head and start walking back to your flat. Boris meets you halfway carrying a file folder. Colonel, latest intelligence from W5. We've ID'd the assassin. He hands you the folder. You take it, open it up, and read the report. Inside is also a picture of the assassin.
Dead shot. Is this confirmed?
Yes, ma'am. The problem is he's very good at getting into highly guarded areas and setting up a nest. And with the sun out tomorrow morning and a large crowd, it will be difficult to spot him.
Well, we'll catch him. Hopefully he cooperates. For his sake.
You walk with Boris back to your flat. You say goodnight to him as you enter and close the door, securely locking it. You take off your armor, slip into nightwear, and collapse into bed, exhausted from the day and letting the desire for sleep overtake you. End session.
Ulala! Crikey dingo. Crikey. Ay caramba. Ay caramba. Auf Wiedersehen. Grafla. Uh-oh. Tootsie fruitsie. Crikey dingo. What's that coming to go?